I knew the formulas would be phenomenal, but I didn't think these colours were going to look quite this fabulous together. Wow. Hi everybody, so today I've got some new releases to show you, starting with the Danessa Myricks holiday collection. Not that new to many of you, but very new to me because I've only just been able to get this in the UK, so I've got all of them here. So I'm just going to do a quick swatch of all of these and then try at least one of them, maybe two of them on, and here's the minis as well. And I've also got the new Viseart Etendue palette, so I'm going to try two different looks with this for the very first time. So this will be first impressions, and I've also got swatches of this, and I'm going to apply it using these new brushes from Sonia G. So this is the holiday release from Sonia G. Again, first impressions. I haven't even tried them at all, so everything here will be first impressions. So I can't wait to get started with all of this. And if you're new here, hi, my name's Hannah. I'm 47, not a professional, just somebody who loves makeup and beauty. And here on my channel, I like to show you my favourite products, review the latest products, and give you any beauty news you might be interested in. If you think you'd enjoy this, I do upload here quite regularly, a good few times a week, and I'd be so grateful if you subscribe to my channel. If you're already subscribed, welcome back to my channel. I really appreciate you all, as I hope you all know by now. And my skin tone, if that's useful with all of these colours, I've got fair to light skin with neutral undertones, and I've got blue eyes. Anyway, that's enough about me. Let's get on with this video. So I'm going to start with the Danessa Myricks. I don't actually have the box. I was just so eager to try these. I just put them straight on my desk and I didn't keep the box. But these came in quite a nice gift set. This was such a good deal, which is why I was so keen to get hold of this. I do believe the only place I could have got it was Beautylish originally, and it's sold out there, but it's now available here at Beauty Bay, so I've linked that below, and the minute I was able to get this from Beauty Bay, I bought it straight away. So this full set, which gives you 2 full size and 2 mini size of the blush. This is the Yummy Skin Forever Flushed Lip and Cheek formula. This is only £37.50 for all 4, which I think is an exceptional deal. I think it's probably the best deal of all of the holiday little gift sets. I think this is the best one. I love this formula, and I can't wait to try these because I don't have one of these, and one of them is actually a new colour, a new shade. I believe it's just the one that's new, but they're all new to me because I haven't bought these shades. So the one I'm really excited to try is this new one, Spiced Latte. I think what I'll do before I try anything on is do a quick swatch on the back of my hand of all of them. So if you're not familiar with this, this is a very creamy formula, but it sets down as a powder, so it's really easy to apply, but it does get that longevity. That Spiced Latte, look at that. Beautiful and perfect shade for this time of year. Then we have Dancing Queen. So this is also obviously full size. Very pigmented, so definitely fair skin people like me will need to be careful with this one. And then we have in the mini Jubilee, a shade I really thought I'd bought because I certainly wanted to, but I can't find it, so maybe I didn't. So now I'm very pleased to have it because this will still last me quite a long time. Perfect for travel though, perfect to keep in the bag to top up cheeks. Gosh, that is a beautiful shade, isn't it? Again, that's going to be a really nice shade for this time of year for me. I love these sorts of colours. But I think this would also work in the summer. And then we have Red Velvet. Now this is a shade I would be a little bit nervous about using, in all honesty, because reds are not a blush shade I tend to use. But I'm still very grateful to have this in the set, and I will definitely try it. So there's the 4. So for today's look, I think I'm going to go straight in with the Spiced Latte. It's got to be. This is the one I was so excited about. So I'm not particularly reviewing this formula, as I can already tell you this formula is beautiful. Gosh, that's quite a lot of pigment there, isn't it? I'm using the BK Beauty 109, so before I blend that out, I'm actually going to take what's on my brush off. We'll see how it blends out though, because they do tend to blend out and really calm down. So I'm putting this on top of powder. This is quite a flexible type of blush, which you can put below powder on top of powder, straight onto creams. Very, very, very versatile. But look how almost straight away this is setting down. Well, I say look, you can't feel it, but let me tell you, it does just dry down into a powder. It's just a beautiful formula, but this shade, this is everything I was hoping it would be. Look at that, that's given me the warmth I love for this time of year. Absolutely gorgeous. So that one dab that I was worried about is probably just about the right amount. And I've just about got enough time before it does set to powder to do this side. I wouldn't recommend doing what I did and putting it on both sides first, because I'm working a little bit maybe harder than I should have to. That is because I'm going on top of powder. If I was doing this on top of cream, it would have just blended out and melted in a lot more quickly, but I actually prefer it on top of powder. I do find the pigment pops more when you put it on top of powder. Oh, that colour is gorgeous. I mean, I do need to calm and soften the edges, which I will, but wow, that is absolutely beautiful. And I recently did my top 5 blushes for autumn winter, and this wasn't in it because I didn't have it, but I can tell you right now that this would quite easily have been in it and would have challenged #1 spot, because that's how much I think this is perfection for autumn winter. That is gorgeous. I am curious, I don't know if I'll regret this though, I'm really keen to see what Dancing Queen is like. I really don't want to ruin this because I love it. So I think what I'll do is I'll literally touch it and just put a tiny bit at the top there to see if I can just see what this colour is like on me. I don't want it to take over, so I just want it to be the sort of upper part of my cheek and maybe take it slightly into the eye there. Again, a lot of pigment with these. So I've calmed that right down now using the Charlotte Tilbury bronzing brush. If you saw my bronze, top 5 bronze video recently, my most recent video, you would have seen how much I love this for exactly this purpose. It's so good when you just want to calm things down and soften the edges of things. So I'm not going to recommend putting these two together. That was pure curiosity on my part, but I will even things up by doing the same on the other side. So I think if you have fair skin like me and you have this set, these two very bright colours, just use the tiniest little dot and work it out. That's all you're going to need, but you can blend these out, you definitely can. So you can still get away with these, but obviously if you've got a deeper skin tone, you're going to get on with these fabulously. They are really going to show up. They are so pigmented. I've had to put the tiniest little dot and calm it down, and you can still really see that pink, can't you? So that's a really nice berry tone. So if you like berry, it won't look quite as strong if you put it underneath powder though, keep that in mind, but they are very pigmented. And now, as always, they have just set down, no stickiness whatsoever. And I am going to use them for the lips as well, because these are lips and cheeks, but I'm going to stick with the Spiced Latte because this is so beautiful. Oh, this is so perfect. I absolutely love it. I think this is my new favourite shade from this range, quite easily actually. I love it. I love Bellini, the peachy one, no surprise. That's probably my favourite for spring, summer, and this is my new favourite for autumn, winter. Absolutely beautiful. So another smash hit from Danessa Myricks as far as I'm concerned, but I love everything she does actually, I really do. I don't think she's come out with anything this year that hasn't been a huge hit for me. Her concealer, the Lightworks 5, the Groundworks palettes, these, and let's finish actually by using the, where are you? The Lowlighter as my highlight. So I've got this one here in the shade Unbothered. So this one, was it launched this year? It was this year, wasn't it? Earlier, very early this year, I think. So I'm going to use, let me change brushes. I'll use the Mario F4, which has the same sort of end as the 109. And I'm going to use this now as my highlight. So this is basically the same sort of formula, but this is a highlight. But these do have a bit of pigment in, so they can actually be used as a sort of glowy blush as well. I'm just going to put a little bit of this now on, and it just gives you a sort of gorgeous, can you see the sort of pinky there? So it is pinky. I'm not sure whether it's the perfect match for the Latte, but anyway, it's the one I wanted to try today. Right or wrong, this is the one I'm using. It is a beautiful formula. The other shade I've got is that peachy shade. I wasn't sure if I should use that with the Latte. Oh, that is so pretty. I quite like the pink with the Latte though. It's a nice combination. It sort of picks up on the rich pink I've got at the top, or the plum. And you can also pop a little bit of this on the lips, maybe in the middle. Yeah, I quite like that in the middle of the lips. And I like the fact that my cheeks and lips have now got that sort of duo colour on both. Look at that, isn't that stunning? So pretty. I love having a bit of a pink tint in my highlight. That is gorgeous. Not that that was new, but anyway, this whole set from Danessa Myricks is an absolute bargain. So highly, highly, highly recommend picking this set up, because I think to get 2 full size, this stunning new Latte shade, and to get 2 minis for that price is exceptional. And somebody did say yesterday they even got 30% off. So if you're the person who said that and that offer is still running, please do let everyone watching know, because 30% off as well as that really good price is incredible. So if you can grab a bargain with this, then even better. But I think it's already a phenomenal bargain. So highly recommend. So now moving on to the Sonia G brushes. So before I apply the eyeshadow, I just want to show you these because I'm definitely going to try these out today. So first of all, look at the beautiful box these come in. This is the Sonia G Japanese Gardens MAKI-E brush set. So this has 3 brushes. I'm now going to spoil this beautiful packaging and open the box. So here we have the presentation inside. Look at that, isn't it gorgeous? Just a lovely experience opening these. This gorgeous paper that they're coming in. There's the brushes inside. So I'm going to take this off and ruin this beautiful packaging now, which seems such a shame, but it has to be done if I'm going to use them. So let's unwrap them on this beautiful paper. And here are the 3 brushes. Look at the handle. Look how pretty that is. So these 3 brushes are all eye brushes. So these brushes are a combination of goat and squirrel hair. And we have here a pointy pencil tip, crease brush. I think this is the crease brush, it must be from the description. They are so soft. And then we have the builder brush. So I'm going to do my best to use mostly these, but I might have to dip into other ones. So I think I'll try the crease brush to start my look, but they do feel extremely, extremely soft. If anyone picked up the Refa Exceptional Holiday brush, the blush brush, they remind me of that, the softness. They look similar actually, so maybe they are actually made of similar materials. They've got that same softness. Absolutely stunning, love them. Also, I don't think I've shown you this on the channel, so maybe I should show you now. I picked up this, I think I did a shorts video on this. This is the Sonia G brush holder, the one that was out of stock for so long. So this sits here in front of me on my desk, and it's mostly got Sonia G brushes. It's got a couple of others, but it's got these double sections, so you've got the smaller section at the front so I can keep the brushes. So these are my Sonia G eye brushes, and then I've got all of my sort of bigger brushes at the back. I do have my Chikuhodo and some of my special Refa brushes in here, but basically this is my box now that sits on my desk for my special brushes, my everyday brushes actually, but my top brushes. But these are all powder. I keep powder, I'm trying to keep my powder separate from all of my foundation and concealer brushes, so I've got them over there in a much less beautiful box. And if anyone's curious, most of these are my Refas, which I use all the time. I keep them in this little organizer here in front of me, actually in order of the way I use them. So just somebody was asking me the other day about my desk. That's a very brief look into how I organise my brushes, but yeah, now I need to find a little bit of space in this lovely holder for these new 3 brushes, but luckily there are some chambers in the front free. So anyway, let's get stuck into using these by starting now with the new eyeshadow palette from Viseart. So before I do anything, I will show you my swatch video. So here is the swatch video. And is, isn't it beautiful? I'm a little bit concerned about how dark this is, but I think from the swatches, some of these shimmers are going to give enough brightness for it not to be too dark for me. But I love Viseart, I'm a huge fan. I've got loads of their eyeshadow palettes. They are probably an unbeatable formula like Natasha Denona. They cannot be beaten in my opinion. There's nothing better than Viseart. They're not better than Natasha Denona in my opinion, but they are as good as. That's how good they are. They are phenomenal, especially the mattes and the way that they blend. But the shimmers have really come up over the years with Viseart and they've improved a lot and they are looking absolutely gorgeous from the swatches. But the description of this alone sells this. If you haven't tried a palette from Viseart, this description, let me read it to you. Just take a look at the palette while I read it. It says, "Hark the siren's call, inspired by the legends of the Night Sea and Poseidon's starlit kingdom. SIRENEUSE, if that's how it's pronounced, apologies if it's not, Étendu VISEPRO is your odyssey into oceanic crystalline enchantment. Embodying wild winter luxury and mythical majesty, it beckons with glittering waves of aquatic allure and seascape majesty. Each shade is like a goddess born of the sea, shimmering in duochromatic moonlit opulence beneath winter's serene touch. This palette is a journey into mystical dreams where the obsidian glimmering depths of blues meet starlit beauty, melding Poseidon's myths with the enigma of Triton's gilded trident. Colour range from soft, sylph-like iridescence to deep, celestial, duochromatic hues, each one murmuring gently like a wave beneath a laloon of the siren, transporting you to a realm of serene, nocturnal splendour. Each shade is triple milled, crafted with luminous pigments that capture winter's crispness against a backdrop of candlelit warmth, designed to be interchangeable and curatable, which is something all of the palettes do. They can all be popped out, they're magnetic, very similar to the Natasha Denona. So if you've got your own sort of blank palettes, you know, you can just buy them even on Amazon, where you can just pop it in and create your own stories. You can do that with your Viseart palettes, something which I think is a really, really good touch. So with these, you don't need to push a pen from beneath like you do with the Natasha Denona. You can literally just pull them out. There's a little sort of catch behind there. The magnet is very strong, so I'm struggling to get that out easily. I need to use 2 fingers at least, more carefully, and there we go. Out it comes, and you can just put it into a different palette, make your own palettes, or you could just get one of those sort of blank cases, like I said, off Amazon and create your own. But I'd rather keep mine in, so I know what's what. But I do really like the fact that you can do that and create your own. I think it's a really cool idea. So anyway, let's get on with some looks. I'm just going to pretty much go with my instincts on this one. I'm going to try to use slightly different shades, so I think I'll start with the 2 lighters on each eye. I'm going to wipe this brush off in between if it works well, which I'm sure it will. For the first eye, I'll go in with this one, which is called Serenade, described as a soft mid-tone neutral pink. And obviously this one is a matte, so I'm going to just use this as a sort of transition base colour. So you can see there's not an awful lot of pigment coming from this. Just see a tiny, tiny bit on my complexion. So far the brush is applying this beautifully. I'll just wipe this brush off now and use the other matte for the other eye. So this is the other lighter one. This one is obviously lighter. Light muted neutral pink with a peach. So this shade might be light enough to use as a sort of inner corner pop of light and under the brow. And on this eye I'm going to use it as a transition. I did pick up quite a lot of product then with this brush, so I should be a bit careful because this does seem to pick up. It's not a hugely fluffy crease brush, so it picks up maybe more than I'm used to with the brushes I tend to use for the crease, because I do tend to go for slightly more fluffier brushes, but it works brilliantly actually. It's just that it's picking up a little bit more product, so just something to keep in mind if you pick up these brushes. So there's a difference between those two. You can definitely see the depth difference between them. I'm actually going to use exactly the same brush and go here into the shade 11. This is called Abyss. This is a mid-tone greyish purple, and this is also a matte. I'm just going to use this brush to tap in here. And can you see straight away how good these formulas are? these mattes, how they just blend into each other. This is something you will find with every Viseart palette. Honestly, they are just top notch. Very, very little work required. I mean, I am using Sonia G as well, so Sonia G brushes and Viseart, what a beautiful combination for an easy application and a perfected application as well. That is lovely actually, I really like that. That tiny little dab in has given me all that depth. So for this side, I've just cleaned this brush off again. I'm going to try something very different actually. I'm going to go into the 8th shade in the palette. This one's called Oceanic. This is a rich navy blue-green with blue duochromatic flecks. And I'm hoping I can still use this in the outer V. Again, not taking too much on the brush because like I said, it does seem to pick up quite a bit, this brush. But it's doing quite a good job of doing both crease and outer V detail, so it's quite a sort of good double job brush this. So I'm not expecting this to melt in quite the same way because we're not putting matte onto matte here, but it's still going in very nicely. So I'm taking this just slightly across the eye here, into the crease and slightly above the crease. And I think that's worked very well for that sort of formula. I'm packing on the Oceanic just a little bit more and bringing it across more of the lid here. This is a really good smoky shade this, isn't it? I'm going to need something really bright to pull this one off, otherwise it'll be too dark for me. So I'm going to definitely try a light shimmer with this one. I really wanted to get that sort of Poseidon effect, and I think this shade in the palette is definitely the one that screams that, isn't it? This one is gorgeous. I'll go back into this lightest matte now and just take it around the edges a little bit just to soften it a bit more. This brush is definitely doing this job very nicely with a light hand. It works very well for that. Ignore the way it doesn't look so great in the centre of the lid there because I'm leaving that for the shimmer to go over in a minute and soften it there. So now I'm going to try this pencil tip, and I think for this side I'm going to go back into the Oceanic and now take it underneath here. This brush is a perfect sort of eyeliner pencil tip. It's really fine. Really good. I like the Pencil Pro from Sonia G for going underneath, but that's more for sort of soft blending out. This one is more of a fine tip. Like I use the Refa 23. Slightly thicker than the Refa 23, so not quite as fine detail, but it's doing a pretty good job because it's got quite a fine tip on it. I'm using exactly the same shade here, but obviously this brush is giving it a lot more pigment because it's so much more dense. I think that's working quite well as a liner. I'm not going to need a liner there. I'll just take this fluffier brush. These got names. I'm just calling them fluffy, and no, they don't have names. That's going to confuse me in the future. I'll just call it the Pretty One by Sonia G. So for this eye, I need to pick a shade I'm going to take with my finger as well, I think. I don't even know if this is going to go, but it's a shade I have to try because I have to try duochromes. I love them. So I'm going to try this one. So this one is called Siren, a violet blue with turquoise duochromatic flecks. So I'm going to take this one on my little finger and put it there. Oh, look at that. Wowzers, that is so pretty. I'm glad I did that now. I think this is my favourite shade so far. Oh, that is stunning. Absolutely stunning. Wow, love that. I think for this side, I'll go in with a pencil tip with this one. This is the one I haven't tried. I don't think this is a matte though. No, this one is called Brine. This is a bitter brown quartz with copper reflectivity and a metallic finish. But I think it'll still be absolutely fine as a liner shade because it's got the depth I'm looking for. Yep. So I'm going to bring that up here. I've just noticed though I've got quite a bit of fallout from that, even though I did tap off. That's my first bit of fallout so far from this palette, was with that one. So that's the metallic. So I'm going to go back in again and tap off even more to see if it happens again. This works very well actually to create a bit of a wing there, look. I'm not getting any fallout this time, so I probably just didn't tap off enough. So, gosh, that duo shade is so pretty, isn't it? Look at it. I'm so glad I got this. I did think it's a bit too dark and I don't know if I'll love it, but so far I've only put sort of dark shades on and I love it. I'm looking forward to brightening up though with the last section on the lid. So now to finish off the sort of Poseidon eye, I'm going to use, I want to try so many of these. I think I'm going to try 2 shimmers actually. So another duo. Can I do another duo? Can I squeeze another one in? I'll try this one. I just can't resist. So this one's called Melusine, which is a mid-tone sandy nude with blue-green duochromatic flecks. I'm going to start by just putting this here in the sort of centre and mixing it over the oceanic. Oh wow, look at that. That's like moonlight hitting the sea, isn't it? Can you see it? Is that what it gives you? Because that's what it's giving me. Wow. Oh, that is so pretty. This is such a clever colour combination from Viseart. Oh, I love it. That is absolutely stunning. These duochromes are out of this world. They really are something special. Look at them. So I've used 3 now because oceanic wasn't it? So now for a non-duochrome to finish this look off, I think, yeah, I'm going to go straight into, which one? Maybe this one? Shade 9, called Glinting, a nude silver with a metallic finish. I'm going to take this now in the inner corner. I should be using the new Sonia G flat brush for this to show you if it works. I will do on this side. I just prefer using my fingers for shades like this, but anyway, I will test that flat brush out for you. Oh, look at that. Just look at those 3 together. Absolutely stunning. I'm going to pop a little bit more of that duochrome just over it a bit because I don't want to lose it completely. Oh, that is just gorgeous. Look at that. Wow, 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 wow. Sorry, I've said the word gorgeous, wow, look at that about 100 times, but this is seriously impressing me so much more than I was expecting actually. I knew the formulas would be phenomenal, but I didn't think these colours were going to look quite this fabulous together. Wow. Now for this side, so I've taken this duochrome quite far here already, so I might just go with 1 more shade on this eye and not another duochrome. I think I'll just go with a light pop. I'm trying to decide between this one or this one. So here they are. Ignore my middle finger, if I can hold them up properly. Which one should I go for? Maybe this one because it's lighter. So I'm going to try the flat brush now from the Sonia G set, and I'm going to go with the lightest. So that's this one, shade 1, and this one is called Sylph, a champagne rose with a metallic finish. So let's try this brush and see how it's picking up the product. Is it as good as a finger? It's definitely picking it up. I'm not sure if I like it as much as using a finger, which might not be down to the brush itself, it's just that shimmers just always for me look a bit better when I use fingers, but maybe it's just that it's not as bright as I was hoping. I can't really see the difference between this and this at the moment. I'll try a bit with my finger and see if it makes a difference. It's a bit more, it's definitely standing out a bit more applying it with a finger. But not a lot. It's just not as bright as maybe I'd hoped. I think with hindsight, the one I used on this eye would have been better, this one here. Not that it doesn't look good, I still like it, but I do think this one would have been better. So I think what I might do is, I'll cheat now and I'll use my BK Beauty brush, but I'm going to use this shade here, using the 207 brush, and use this for the inner corner. Yeah, see, that's got the brightness that I wanted. I'm going to do the same on this side, so I'm basically using the same shade that's already on the inner section of my lid and taking it more into the inner corner there. But another shade that would work very well for this, if you don't want to have a shimmer, would be this one. I think I will try it actually, just under the brow. Perfect shade for under the brow. I'm going to check now if I can use this liner brush to actually line across the whole of the eye. Is it fine enough for that? So can I use it to line right the way to here? So let's test that. You really need a fine nib to do this. It seems to be working. It is fine enough for me to get into this part here. This is a fantastic liner brush, that's how I would call it. It does say pencil brush, but it is such a fine nib. Perfect. So I'm going to go into that last metallic shade to do exactly the same on this side. Look how neatly that's applying. It's like I'm using a liquid liner, I think. Really good. So I've had no fallout from anything, apart from that once when I didn't tap off, but look at those looks, just look at them. Wow, I'm so in love with this, I really am. And I really wasn't expecting to be quite as in love with it. In the palette, it just looks a bit dark. I just really thought from pictures, this is too dark and it's going to look too dark on me, but I think it's absolutely stunning. Wow, 10 out of 10 plus 10. I'll go off camera, do my mascara and be back to show you my final look. So there is my final look, and I have to say every single thing I have tried today is a 10 out of 10 easily. Absolutely over the moon with everything I've tried. So starting with the Danessa Myricks set, such exceptional value, a formula I love and trust already, and I love the way this looks on my lips, and I love this Spice Latte. It's gone to my number one straight away. My favourite shade so far. This formula is gorgeous, highly recommend, and it's just such good value. The perfect way for you to test these out if you've been looking at them and wondering, because you will not pick them up at that sort of good price again, I don't think, all year. So highly recommend getting that set. And then the Sonia G brushes, well, they've been a huge success, haven't they? I think the only brush I'd say I didn't properly test for you maybe was this flat one. I'll need to test this a bit more, but I don't think I need to test it to tell you that it works very well. I don't think it picked up the shimmer and distributed it quite as well as a finger does, but then I don't think anything ever very rarely does, to be honest. Sometimes it does, but I think it just pops a little bit more, mostly to do with the sort of natural oils you have in your fingers that a brush can't have. So obviously this brush works well. If you prefer not to use fingers, I think it'll do the job very nicely. This blender, or crease brush as it's called, was fantastic because this worked as my sort of detailer and my blender, so I was able to use this for everything. So I normally go through about 5 Rapha brushes I've got lined up here in that set I showed you, and I was able to do the job with this one brush. It did a fantastic job, very quick and easy to blend out the crease shade, the transition shade, and then going in for the more detailed outer V shade. I thought it was absolutely perfect. Beautiful brush, very soft, very good at what it does. Does pick up a little bit more product, so be aware of that, as I said. And this is a fabulous liner brush, absolutely fabulous. That tip, I mean, you can see how pointed it is. It's just very good for that detail. But then if you wanted to use it on its side underneath, you could get a more thick finish if you wanted to use it in the way you might with sort of pencil tip, because I think, like I said, this is a lot more fine than a standard pencil sort of brush. But yeah, lovely set, a massive winner. And the standout brushes, as you can probably tell, are these two. But beautiful set, beautiful handles, lovely and soft, and I love the box. So if you don't have the box that I've just shown you, using this like that, you can put brushes in both pots. So that's a really nice way of keeping them on your desk. In fact, I think I'm going to have to do that. It's too pretty not to. I'll just have to put it somewhere, maybe next to my other box, because that's so beautiful, isn't it? And then onto this absolute stunner from Viseart. So as I've said in this video, I thought this would be too dark, but it's not. I think it's got enough light. Those duochromes are absolutely breathtakingly beautiful in my opinion. This one I thought was going to be my number one, and then I tried this trio of duochromes here. Sorry, not trio, duo. This is a duochrome and this one's a duochrome. Look at them together, and this I think has topped that now as my favourite look. But they're so close, I love them both. Which one do you prefer? Do you have a preference? Do you think one's nicer than the other? I can't call that. For me, I think it has to be a draw. This one slightly has the edge because it's got the duochrome, so I don't know. I love them both. What do you think? This formula from Viseart, absolutely gorgeous, and their shimmers and duochromes, I would say, are now on par with all the top ones too. So their mattes always have been. Their duochromes and shimmers are also have reached that top level. You will not find better. Absolutely stunning, stunning release. One that really took me by surprise. If I wasn't doing this job, I wouldn't have picked this up. I got this more for review thinking it's going to look too dark, and I now know that I want to use this tomorrow, next week, next month. It is gorgeous. So, love it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you picked this one up? Are you a Viseart fan or somebody who's maybe thinking of trying Viseart? So if you are, honestly, once you get into Viseart, you will get hooked. That's the only thing I will warn you about, because I like to buy most things they release. And this one's actually quite unique for them. A lot of their palettes have been a little bit samey over the years. This is quite a unique one, so I think this is stunning. Well worth picking up, and perfect for this time of year, especially this sort of look. I think it's really, really good for sort of winter looks, isn't it? Gorgeous. So anyway, very successful day. Absolutely loved doing that. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please do like the video and subscribe. It's so helpful to my channel. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for being at the end of another one of my videos. You know I appreciate you all very, very much, and I hope to see all of you again for my next video. Take care everybody. Bye.